Let's talk about relationship and fear. One of the biggest fears for people who are married or people who are unmarried, people who have a relationship, those who don't have a relationship, one of the biggest fears remains loneliness. Loneliness has a lot of fear associated with it. For example, fear of not being loved, fear that nobody will love you, or fear that nobody loves you. Fear that nobody loves you. That's also a big fear a lot of people have. Fear that you are growing old and there is no one to take care of you. So there are so many fears. How can we deal with these relationship fears? And like I said, people who are in relationship or who are married, who may have children as well, they still have this fear. So it seems to be that irrespective of circumstance, this fear is there. In some people it is very active, in some people it is dormant, but it's there. What can we do? Because whatever you fear, you will create. So you should not have the fear, otherwise you will create that bad reality or the problem that you are afraid of. First thing to understand is, as long as you are wanting love, needing love, the fear of not getting love will and definitely will persist. There is no way to escape it. The real way to overcome this fear is to become love. This is a spiritual principle I'm teaching. I'm not going to teach you any human principles. Its spiritual principle is become love. I learned it from Dr. Pillai. Dr. Pillai embodies this. Become love itself. When you become love, then you are a giver. You are not worried about who will love you, if I will be loved, am I loved, does anybody truly love me. You will be focused on loving others. You will be filled with love. You will be an example of love. And if you can develop, it's a state of consciousness. If you can develop that state of consciousness, not only relationships, but several areas of your life will be resolved. Several problems will be resolved. And I will talk about them maybe in a future video. But love is the greatest creative intelligence. Love is the greatest divine intelligence. And love is the greatest force of attraction. So it can do a lot for your life overall. But coming back to just love in the context of overcoming a fear in relationships, become love. How do you become love? You become love by meditating on love. If you meditate on love, you will become love. If you become love, then there will be no fear of not being loved, because you are full of love all the time. You are seeking love from other people at this time. When you become love, you don't need to seek. You are love. People will seek love from you. And you will be able to share your love with others. And that is the right model. And there's a beautiful mantra Dr. Pillai has given for that. Very effective. Anbe Shivam. Anbe Shivam. Anbe Shivam. This mantra says that love is God, or Shiva is God, or love is Shiva. God is love. Love is God. This mantra says love is God. So Anbe Shivam. You just go on whenever you are attacked by fears of loneliness and these negative illusory thoughts of not being loved by others, having nobody to love you, and all these things. Just meditate on Anbe Shivam, Anbe Shivam, Anbe Shivam, Anbe Shivam, Anbe Shivam. Then through the blessings of God, you will get into this state where you become loving, where you ultimately become love. So this is one great technology. There's one more technology that you can use for those of you who are living alone and who want to live alone, meaning You are not interested in relationship necessarily. You just occasionally are bothered by loneliness. Dr. Pillai has recommended the pranava, the mantra Om. Om. And this mantra will help you to develop a relationship with your own Atma, with your own soul. And once you develop this inner relationship with your own Atma, the awareness of your Atma, then loneliness will be transformed into aloneness and bliss. So we will move from loneliness and unhappiness, unfulfillment and fear to aloneness, being one with your Atma, and bliss, completion, Purnam. You will feel complete in yourself, full, and that will give you tremendous joy, bliss. So these are two spiritual remedies to deal with this fear of not being loved or not having anyone to love you. I will talk to you in the next video about another dimension of our life and how to eradicate fear.